It's intense. It was like I had to get a tutorial just to drive it out of a driveway.
Oh.
But it was you get it down in it and it feels like you're in like it's really low and it's really loud. You turn it on and it purrs. And then I barely had to touch the gas. Like if you take your foot off the brake, it goes.
Hey everyone, I'm Anna Rumer at PopCulture, and today I have with us Maya Rudolph and Michaela J. Rodriguez to talk with me about Loot on Apple TV+. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is such a funny, fresh take on a workplace comedy. Can you tell me both a little bit about what drew you to Loot?
Do you want to go?
I can,
Yeah.
spend a moment.
Get it.
Okay, well, I think what drew me to Loot was just like the whole cast, like collectively, and their stories and how they all mesh together so well within this space. And also just Molly. Like when I first read it, I was like, oh, this woman, like she's a boss for making the decisions she's making. And like at the end, obviously I won't give that away, but there's just this beautiful like coming together. And yeah, I think that's what drew me to it. So clearly I got all the episodes in the beginning. I'm happy about
Yeah, you really did. For me, it was this idea of, because when I learned about the idea for the show, it hadn't been written. So the idea was just, what do you do with $87 billion? Like, do you use it for good? And it instantly gave me this feeling of excitement of like anything can happen. Truly, like this person could be on a boat one day and then, planning to go to the moon the next. She's not going to the moon. It's not a spoiler alert.
Season 2, yeah.
I mean, I'm good. I don't need to go to the moon.
I agree.
You don't want to go to the moon?
I don't want to go to the moon. Is that okay?
That's fine with me.
Other people can go to the moon and film it for me, and I'm thrilled.
Okay, gotcha.
But I don't want to go up in the air to the moon.
You can watch it from your couch. That sounds more comfortable to me.
That
honestly.
sounds really nice.
Now, Maya, you mentioned that Molly is just like a bag of options there. What was the most fun for you about becoming her? Was there anything that like really tapped into you?
I got to drive. What was the car I drove? Was it a Lamborghini? I don't even know what it was.
It was nice. I know. That's all I know. I'm a car person.
It was the weirdest feeling because I had to learn to drive it, and it's intense. It was like I had to get a tutorial just to drive it out of a driveway. But it was you get it down in it and it feels like you're in it's really low and it's really loud. You turn it on and it purrs. And then I barely had to touch the gas. Like if you take your foot off the brake, it goes. And it's very like, oh, this is a choice that people make to
possibly
like get around and live their life and just like vroom, vroom. It was really weird. It was also bright green, which was kind of bizarre and kind of fun and exciting. But I felt like, oh, I did that. But it was weird. Like I don't need to do it again.
You wouldn't do it again? You wouldn't get in the car? Well, no, because I would be scared too.
I would be scared to go. Everyone's like, oh, it goes super fast. Like, what? Okay, so when it goes super fast, are you just like gripping the wheel and like?
Right. And it's like, I was wondering how that goes like backwards when you're backing out. Because you had to back out, didn't you?
I did get to back out and hit something that was fun.
Oh my God. So no moon, no that car again. I like it. I like the bucket list that we're checking off here.
Oh, the bucket list is so boring. When you find out what's on the bucket list, you'll be like, yep, she was born 65.
Not true. Not true.
And Michaela J, we've got this like grounded character in Sophia. Tell me a little bit about becoming her and what was that like?
It was definitely a little different. I've never played a character like her before. She is very, very forward. She's stern. I'm not a stern person. So like diving into her was, a bit of a challenge, but I kind of like a little challenge. And it made it easier when I have this beautiful woman next to me, like helping me out. Like there were times where I was like, oh my God, I hope I'm doing okay. And she's like, you're fine. And I'm like, thank you.
Like when but it's always nice to feel like someone who's just like ripping you a new one has like a genuine heart of gold. Because it's hard for
It
hard for you
is.
to be mean.
It is. I don't like being mean.
No, you
My
don't
fault.
like. I know what you
I'm
mean.
scared.
Yeah,
But she's fun though. Like I feel like the relationship between Sophia and Molly is
it's
really
really
cool.
nice.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. I can't wait for everyone to see it. I wish we could chat longer, but you two have been very lovely. Thank you so much for talking with me. Can't wait for everyone to see Loot. I'm Anna Rumer at PopCulture, and today I have with us Nat Faxon and Ron Funches to talk all about Loot on Apple TV+. Welcome.
Hey, thank you. Happy to virtually be here.
Yeah, right, exactly. Be there in spirit, at least. But this is such a funny, fresh take on a workplace comedy. I mean, Nat and then Ron, would you talk a little bit about what drew you to Loot?
Yeah, I think I'm always, it always starts with the writing for me. That's kind of the starting point. I loved what Alan and Matt Hubbard were sort of creating. And I have also been longtime friends with Maya Rudolph, going back to our days in the Groundlings Theater in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
So getting the chance to kind of reconnect with her was a bonus.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What about you, Ron?
Oh, I mean, very similar to Nat. I read the script and I really just enjoyed it very much. But I actually originally passed on the project because I was working on my own thing. And then that did not get picked up. So I said, let me quickly reconsider. And just the opportunity to work with Maya Rudolph was a dream come true for me, just to be around her. I loved her since I was a kid. So to be around her and get to work with her every day and people like Nat and Joel, it was a dream come true.
That's awesome. Well, and Ron, tell us a little bit about Howard, your character. What was your favorite part of being him? Because he is so much fun to watch.
Oh, I'm Molly's cousin. Basically, I'm kind of her conduit back to her family and back to her regular life from coming from a world of materialism and being just completely disconnected from reality. I'm kind of her shepherd back into family. And for me, it was just nice to play a character that was so heartfelt and open, and for them to trust me with more than just like setting up punchlines, and to actually have my own storylines and to have an emotional journey with my character, and to be trusted with some fun episodes with Maya's character. That was my favorite part, really, just to be able to act with such great talent and feel like I belong.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And Nat, Arthur is also a really fun character. He's such this grounding force. I mean, tell me about being him and how much fun that was.
Yeah, it was. It was, as you can tell, it was a stretch for me. I'm pretty much wearing wardrobe from the show, the costumes. No, I mean, I think what I loved about Arthur was that he, I think, is also at sort of a point of transition in his life, much like Molly, and they sort of bond over that. Recently divorced and trying to figure out kind of what this next chapter was, what is. And I think there's a fun sort of slightly romantic connection, at least on his side, with her, and I think there's some sort of connection on her side, but she's not quite sure she wants to go down that road. So it was kind of fun to play, the discovery of that, and sort of the journey for Arthur in trying to branch out and put himself out there, and yet the apprehension and sort of anxiety in doing so.
Absolutely. Well, last question, really quick. If you both had the money of Molly, what would be the first thing that you bought, just off the top of your head? I'm going for that big boat.
NBA franchise. That's easy.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm owning a team, and then I'm forcing them to let me play.
I love it. I love it. What about you, Nat?
I would say probably just like a private island somewhere where I could have my own NBA team also.
You can go in on it together. I love it. Well,
that's right.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me. I can't wait for everyone to see Loot.